I'm Dia Carabajal, and I am running for the Assembly in New York State in the 126th Assembly District. The 126th Assembly District goes from Cayuga County to Onondaga County, Portland County, and Chenango County. It contains 4 Finger Lakes: Cayuga Lake, Owasco Lake, Skaneateles Lake, and Otisco Lake. Also, it contains the Kettle Lakes of Cortland County and Onondaga County. Environment is something that's very important in the 126th Assembly District. Education is an issue of importance, as well as transportation and childcare. Those are things that I know well and I will take to Albany. I live with my husband, Lee, and we are raising our son, Matthias. He is almost already raised. He's a junior at Syracuse University. I've lived most of my life in Auburn, New York, and I've had most of my career right here in Auburn, New York as well. So I'm a 30-year educator. I am a professor of mathematics at Cayuga Community College, although I've worked at other institutions as well, including Auburn High School, Wells College, and SUNY Empire State College. So you pronounce my name Dia Carabajal. The J is like Jose, so you pronounce it as an H. It's easier to just kind of repeat after somebody says it rather than try to read it. Carabajal, Carbajal. Those are different pronunciations. Most people just call me Dia, including my students. My students, I don't mind. I'm not hung up about being called professor, and Carabajal is just such a mouthful. So most people just call me Dia, and that's good enough. Well, it was my time to run for assembly. So I had been on the Auburn School Board for two terms, and I also served for 4 years on the Auburn City Council. So when this opportunity came up, I said, okay, you know what? I'm ready. I have the experience, and it's something I would like to do. I have governance experience. I have experience with serving constituents. So I think it's time. I think I'm ready. I think it's a good time for me to do this in my life, to take that opportunity and to run with it. As well as there are some driving factors, and one is that we need more women in governance. So I offer myself as a woman in governance by running for office. And also I feel that I have more work to do as far as education, and certainly we have work to do here in the Finger Lakes to protect our waterways. It's a very important issue right now. So I always served on boards, community boards, when asked, and committees at school in my professional environment. So at school as a faculty member or as a community member. Those were things that were always important. It was always, taught to us that we needed to give back, and those were ways to give back. So really sitting on those small community boards and committees at work begins to teach you a little bit about governance and the way it all operates. So those are good places to just kind of get your feet wet and see how it all plays out. My son was at Casey Park Elementary School, and the opportunity came up to be on the district-wide parent council, and the other parents didn't want to do it, and they said, hey, well, Dia will go to the meeting. She likes to do that sort of thing. And I wasn't that good at selling candles or participating in bake sales. You don't want to eat anything I ever baked. So as a result, I went to the district-wide parent council, and there were some issues that came up there that I felt needed more attention and that inspired me to run for the school board. So after being on the school board for 2 terms, again, the opportunity came up. A friend of mine said, we're seeking candidates for city council, is that something that you would be interested in? And so I said, yeah, I think that I've served the school district for 6 years, and maybe it's time for a change. I know growing up through arts education, I know what it meant to me. So when I was a child, certainly there was music in my house, and my mother wrote poetry and all of those types of things that enrich your life, but also through arts education, right? So I took violin lessons, and I participated in chorus, and I was in the high school musicals. So there was an appreciation of art there, as well as the Auburn Children's Theater I participated in. It gave us a great foundation in understanding theater and certainly the arts. I've been involved with the Auburn Community Theater as an actor, as a director. I've been involved with the St. Mary's Choir. Those are things that enrich our lives. The Auburn Players Community Theater allows an opportunity for people to share their talents, and for people to also not only participate as audience members as well. So it's a small business, but it serves a community purpose. And the church choir that I belong to, St. Mary's Church Choir, it serves as an outlet, certainly an artistic outlet, and an educational outlet, because you're always learning when you're performing music. But it also is, for me, it's also a spiritual outlet. So there's a lot happening there. But again, that enriches my life personally, but it also enriches the lives of the people who come to live here in our communities. So that's how the arts and culture contribute to the bottom line of quality of life, right? Your quality of life is enriched there. So you want to come and live in the 126th district because it has so much to offer. The 126th Assembly District has not had representation in the majority caucus in a very long time. And the way that Albany works is that you go and you advocate for your district, and that's how tax dollars come back into your district. Your representative goes and makes sure that certain things are put in the budget, or when you have an issue, that funding comes back, be it educational funding or be it municipal funding. That's how these things happen. That's how the sausage is made. So what happens is that it comes back to the community because your representative is there. If you have representation in the majority caucus, then your voice is amplified by all of the voices in that caucus. So if the majority is Democrat, then you will have the ear of other Democrats that can help you, and you will have just slightly more of a say. So it's really important. There will be no one left as a representative for Cayuga County when Gary Finch retires. All of the rest of the representatives and the people who are running for office are from different areas of the state, and there is no one else running from Cayuga County in the mix. So that's important, to bring that municipal funding back, and to bring back school funding, and to have somebody to speak for you, somebody that you know, that you can call up and say, hey, Dia, this is an important issue for me, and I wish that you would work on it with the people at the state legislature, in the New York State legislature. So that's why it becomes important. It becomes important because you become the conduit, as we spoke about with the school board, the conduit by which the community values are relayed to Albany. And that's why it's important. So that conduit can bring community values from the 126th to Albany, and also bring that your tax dollars back to the 126th. When you're a representative for a community, you represent all of the people. So yes, we run with certain lines, Democrat, Republican, Independent. That's just to kind of group your philosophies about government together in one place. It gives a broad, sweeping understanding of perhaps where you stand. But the reality is that once you get into that job, you represent all of the people. And as I said earlier about the school board being a great training ground, the school board is nonpartisan. The school board, you don't run as a Democrat or a Republican. It's nonpartisan, so you represent all of the people. And when you're on the city council, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they don't have platforms with regard to sewers and sidewalks. So again, you represent all of the taxpayers of that municipality. So the reality is, coming up through the ranks, coming through school board, coming through city council, I'm very used to representing all of the people, and that's what I will continue to do. That's what you really have to do, and that is your responsibility. You may run on the Democratic line, but when you get to Albany, you represent all of the people.